Data comes to use only when you can actually work on it. And Excel is one tool that provides great amount of convenience both when you have to formulate equations of your own or make use of the built-in ones. Hey everyone, welcome back to a whole new session from Edureka. My name is Vajiha, and in this session, you'll be learning how you can actually work with these Excel formulas and functions. Coming back towards this session, we shall first begin by understanding what exactly are formulas and how you can actually write, edit, copy, and hide formulas in Excel. Next, we shall understand the operator precedence in Excel, the various functions that are available with their categories, and finally, I'll be showing you guys how to work with the most important Excel formulas. Okay, so without any further delays, let's get started. So moving on towards the first topic of this session, which is what exactly is a formula? A formula in general is a condensed way of representing some information in terms of symbols. In Excel, formulas are expressions that can be entered into the cells of an Excel sheet and their outputs are displayed as a result. Excel formulas can be of any type such as mathematical operators, values or texts, cell references, or the worksheet functions. Mathematical operators include the operators such as plus, minus, star, the divided by symbol, etc. When you enter values in an Excel sheet cell, Excel takes those values and returns the output. In case you want to compare two cells in Excel, you can do it easily by specifying an equal to sign between the cell references of both the cells that you want to compare. This will either return a true or false depending on whether the values are same or different. Worksheet functions are nothing but the built-in functions that are present in Excel, and I'll be discussing this later on in this session. Okay, so now let's move on and see how you can actually work with formulas in Excel. Like I've already told you before, here we'll be discussing how you can actually write, edit, copy-paste formulas, hide formulas, and the operator precedence of Excel formulas. So now I'll jump onto my Excel sheet. And the first thing that we'll be discussing over here is how to write Excel formulas. In order to write a formula to an Excel sheet cell, all you have to do is select the cell where you want the result to be displayed, type an equal to sign initially to let Excel know that you're going to enter a formula in that cell. After that, you can either type a cell address or specify the values that you intend to calculate. So for example, let me just enter some values over here. I'll say A1 is 3 and A2 is 2. And then I want to return the sum of A1 and A2 in A3. Now to do that, all I have to do is type in an equal to sign. And then I can simply type down the cell address, that's A1 and A2, with a plus sign in between and then hit enter. Okay, so as you can see, it has returned the output, which is 3 plus 2 is 5. Now in case you don't want to type the cell address, what you can also do is, let me just delete this. Type an equal to sign again. Select the cells whose values you intend to work on. So I'll select A1, and then I'll specify a plus sign, and then I'll select A2. Now I'll hit enter. Okay, so I hope you guys are clear with this. So one more thing I want you guys to notice is that you can also enter the formula in the formula bar that is present over here. Okay, so now let's move on and see how you can actually edit a formula in Excel. In case you want to edit some previously entered formula, simply select the cell that contains the target formula, and in the formula bar, you can make the desired changes. So as you all have seen, in the previous example, I have calculated the sum of A1 and A2. Now, I want to edit the same and change the formula in order to calculate the product of the values present in A1 and A2. So like I've already told you all you have to do is select the cell which contains the target formula, go to the formula bar, and over here make the desired changes. So in order to find the product, I'll just have to include a star symbol instead of the plus sign. So now I'll hit enter. Okay, so I hope you guys are clear with this. So now moving on towards something very interesting, which is how to copy-paste a formula in Excel. Excel comes in really handy when you have to copy-paste formulas. Whenever you copy a formula, Excel automatically takes care of the cell references that are required at that position. Now this task is taken care of by the relative cell address system. Here, the copied formula will have modified row and column addresses that will suit its new position. In order to copy a formula, select the cell that holds the original formula and drag it until the cell that you want to calculate the formula for. Okay, so what I'm going to do over here is add on some more values in the B, C, and D columns, and then I'm going to drag the formula present in A3 to B3, C3, and D3. So now let's move on and see how it works. I'll just enter some random values. I'll say 3, 4, and over here 2, and 9, 6, 7. So as we all know, the formula is present in A3. Now, what I'm going to do is hold the left click and drag this down until that cell to which I want to copy the formula. Okay, so I hope you guys have seen this. The formula has been copied and the cell references have been changed according to the position. To know more about the relative cell addresses, absolute cell references, and the mixed cell references, you can refer to the Excel tutorial video of Edureka. Okay, so now let's move on and see how you can actually hide formulas in Excel. In case you want to hide some formula from an Excel sheet, all you have to do is select those cells whose formula you intend to hide, open the font window, and from here, open up the protection pane. Now, check the hidden box and click on OK. Okay, so as you can see, I've checked the hidden box, but the formula is still visible over here. Now this is because I've not selected the protect sheet command. And if I don't do that, my formulas are not going to be hidden. So in order to protect the sheet, select Review from the ribbon tab. And then from the Protect group, click on Protect Sheet option that is present over here. So as you can see, it asks me to enter some password to unprotect the sheet. So I'll just specify some password. And I'll click on OK. So now it's asking me to re-enter the password. So I'll just do the same. And then I'll click on OK. So as you can see, previously when I used to click on these cells that contain the formula was visible in the formula bar. Now, when I click on any of these cells that contain formulas, the formula is no more visible over here, which means that the formula is hidden. So in order to undo what you've done, just select the unprotect sheet command that is present over here and then enter the password that you've entered previously. So as you can see, the formulas are now visible. Okay, I hope you guys are clear with this. So now let's move on and see what is the operator precedence of Excel formulas. Excel formulas basically follow the BODMAS or the brackets, order, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction rules. If you have a formula that contains brackets, the expression within the brackets will be solved before any other part of the complete formula. Say for example, I'll select a new cell and over here I'll just type in some formula. I'll say equal to A1 star and then I'll open up the brackets and within this I'll just say C1 plus C2 and then I'll close the brackets. So as you can see, I found the result for A1 star C1 plus C2 within brackets. So what exactly Excel is doing over here is, first it determines the result of C1 plus C2, which is 2 plus 9 and that is 11. Then it multiplies that result to 3 and hence we get the final result as 33. So I hope you guys have understood this. So now let's move on towards the next topic, which is what exactly are functions in Excel. In general, a function defines a formula that is executed in some given order. Excel provides a huge number of built-in functions that can be used in order to calculate the results of various formulas. In order to view all the functions that are available in Excel, all you have to do is click on the formula menu that is present in the ribbon bar. And over here, click on this Insert Function command. Open up the Category drop-down menu and over here, you can see all the various categories of functions that are available in Excel. In order to select some function, all you can do is select the category to which it belongs and then select the function that you intend to use. After that, just click on OK. Once you've done that, Excel asks you to enter the parameters that are present for that particular function. After entering the parameters, just click on OK. So I've got this caution message because I've not entered any values over there. So I'll just click on OK. So the next thing that we're going to be discussing in this session is the most important Excel formulas. So here are some of the most important formulas and functions that I'm going to be discussing in this section over here. So the first function that I'm going to be dealing with is the date function. Now this is one of the most important and widely used functions in Excel. So in order to show the syntax of this formula, all I'm going to do is select the date and time category and from here I'll select the date function. When I select the function, it shows me the syntax of that particular function and also specifies what it returns. So as you can see over here, the date function takes 3 parameters, which is the year, month, and day. This function returns a number that represents a given date in the MS Excel date time format. So to make use of this function, what I'm going to do is go to the formula bar and over here I'll specify an equal to sign. Then I'll type date. Now for the first parameter, I'll have to specify the year. So I'll just say 2019. Month, I'll just say 03. And the day, I'll give some random day, say 21. After I've done this, I'll just hit enter. So as you can see over here, Excel has returned the date in the Excel date time format. So now let me show you guys another example. So what I'm going to do over here is, for the same date, I'm going to subtract some days from it. So to do that, after I've written the date function, what I'm going to do is specify the minus sign, and then I'll just give some random value, say 5, and then hit enter. So as you can see over here, Excel has returned the date that comes 5 days prior to the date that is specified within the date function as a parameter. So I hope you guys have understood this. So now let's move on and take a look at the day function. Now just like the date function, the day function basically returns the day value of the month. So it can be anything between 1 to 31. This function basically takes one parameter, which is the serial number. The serial number is the date whose day you want to retrieve. It can be given in any manner, such as the result of some other function, supplied as a date function, or the cell reference itself. So what I'm going to do over here is select a new cell, and then I'll type down the equal to sign, and I'll use the day function. So I'll just specify a cell reference over here, and that is A1. So as you can see, it has returned the day value for this particular date. You can also make use of the date function within the day function, and to do that, just specify the equal to sign, and then use the day function, and within this, type down the date function, and specify the parameters to it. So first is the year, and then the month, and then the day. Okay, so I hope you guys are clear with how this works. So now let's move on and see how you can actually calculate percentage in an Excel sheet. Percentage, as we all know, is the ratio calculated as a fraction of 100. Okay, so mathematically, percentage is equal to part divided by whole multiplied by 100. Okay, so now let's move on and see how you can actually do this using Excel. I'll just erase these drawings over here. So I'll just clear the values that are present over here. So in order to calculate the percentage, I'll just specify some new values, say 4 and 6. And I'll just say that 4 is the part value and 6 is the whole value. So what I have to do over here is select the cell where I want to display the result, type an equal to sign, and then I'll say A1 divided by A2. Okay, then I'll just hit enter. Okay, so after this, what I have to do is go to the Home tab, and from the numbers group, click on the percentage symbol. So as you all can see, I found the percentage over here. So now moving on towards the next important function, that is the if statement. I'll just clear this from here. The if statement, as many of us know, is a conditional statement that returns true when a specified condition is satisfied, and it returns false when the condition is not met. Excel provides a built-in if function that serves this purpose. Now to show this function to you guys, what I'm going to do is go to the if function that is present over here, select the function, and over here you can see the syntax of it. So this if function basically takes 3 parameters. The first is the logical test, which is the condition that is to be checked. The second parameter will return some value in case the condition is met, and the third parameter will give a separate value in case the condition is not met. So I'll just take 2 values over here. I'll say 3, and over here I'll just say XYZ. Now I'll take a new cell, and over here I'll type the equal to sign, then make use of the if function. Now what I'm going to do over here is just check if A1 is equal to A2. So I'll say A1 equal to A2, and then I'll specify the value that is to be returned if the condition is met. That is, I'll say yes. And the third parameter will be when the condition is not satisfied. So that will be no. You can give any values of your choice. So as you can see over here, A1 is not equal to A2. Okay, so I hope you guys have understood this. So now moving on towards the next very important function, which is VLOOKUP. The VLOOKUP function is used in order to look up and fetch some particular data from a column of an Excel sheet. V in the VLOOKUP stands for vertical lookup. This is also one of the most important and widely used formulas in Excel. Now to show you the syntax of this function, what I'm going to do is open the insert function window, and over here I'll just type in VLOOKUP. It basically comes in the lookup and reference category. I'll just click V, and over here you can see the VLOOKUP function. So here you can see the syntax of this function. So this function can take up to 4 parameters, where the 4th parameter is optional. The first parameter, or the lookup value, is the value that is to be searched. The second parameter specifies the table array in which the value is to be searched. The third parameter specifies the column index from which the value is to be retrieved. So the final parameter, or the range lookup parameter, is optional, and it returns true for approximate values and false for an exact match. So now, for example, if I want to find the ID that is present for this employee, which is Dave, all I have to do is select some cell, and over here I'll use the VLOOKUP function, and then I'll specify the name of the employee, which is Dave, and the table array will be from A1 till C3. So after this, I'll have to specify the column index. So the column index will be 2, and since I want an exact match, I'll use false. So now I'll hit enter. Okay, so as you can see over here, the VLOOKUP function has retrieved the ID of Dave. So I hope you guys are clear with this. So now let's move on towards the next formula, that is calculating the income tax. So to calculate the income tax, I've already created a table over here. And within this table, I've specified the total salary, the salary deductions, taxable income, and the percentage of tax on the income. So I've just specified some random salary over here and some random salary deductions. So the next thing that I'll have to do is find the taxable income. The taxable income will be the difference between the total income and the salary deductions. So that will be A1 minus A2. I'm sorry, it's B1 minus B2. Now I'll hit enter. So the total taxable income is $275. So the percentage of tax on my income is 10%. So in order to find the income tax, what I have to do is income tax will be equal to taxable income into 10 by 100, which is the percentage of tax applied to my income. So to do this in Excel, what I have to do is just select the cell, and here I'll type the equal to sign. Taxable income is present in B3, so I'll select the cell B3 and then multiply this with 10 divided by 100. And now I'm going to hit enter. So as you can see over here, I have $27.5 as my tax. Okay, so I hope you guys have understood this. So now moving on towards the next function, that is the sum function. The sum function, as we all know, calculates the result by adding the specified values in Excel. In order to show you guys the formula of this function, all I'm going to do is open up the insert function window, and here I'll just type sum, hit enter. So as you can see over here, the sum function takes in all the values to be added as its parameters, and then it returns the result after adding all the values. So in case I want to calculate the sum of all these values that are present over here, what I'm going to do is I'll just say equal to, and then I'll use the sum function, and I'll specify the range as B1 to B4, and then I'll hit enter. So as you can see, the sum function has calculated the sum of all the values that are present over here. Okay, so I'll just delete this off from here. So now moving on towards the next very important formula, which is finding the compound interest. Excel has a built-in formula called as FV that finds the compound interest. FV actually determines the future value of an investment on the basis of periodic, constant interest rate and payments. To show you guys the syntax of this function, I'll just open up the insert function window, and over here I'll just type FV. So as you can see over here, this function takes 5 parameters. Okay, in order to calculate the rate, you will need to divide the annual rate by the periods. Number of periods, or NPER, is calculated by multiplying the term or the number of years with the periods. PMT basically stands for periodic payment and can be any value including 0. So I'll just create another table over here. In case I want to calculate the compound interest for an investment of 500 at the rate of 10% for 5 years, assuming that the periodic payment value is 0, all I have to do is make use of the FV function. Okay, I'll just increase the size of this column over here. So now what I'm going to do is type an equal to sign, then make use of the FV function, and the first value will be the rate. So like I've already told you all before, In order to calculate the rate, I'll have to divide the annual rate by the number of periods. So the annual rate over here is 10% and the number of periods is 12. So that will be C2 divided by C4. So I'll just click on this and then divide it by C4. So for the next parameter, I'll have to specify the number of periods. The number of periods or NPER is calculated by multiplying the term with the periods. So here the term is 5 star, periods are 12. Assuming that the periodic payment is 0, I'll just specify it to be 0. Finally, I'll be specifying the investment amount. And since the money has been taken from my end, I'm going to specify a minus sign preceding the amount that is invested. So the amount is present in C1. So I'll just click on this. So as you can see over here, the future value for $500 at the rate of 10% for 5 years is found to be $822.65. So now moving on towards the next very important formula, which is finding the average. Average basically depicts the median value of a number of values. In Excel, the average can be easily calculated using a built-in function called average. In order to show you the syntax of this function, I'll just open up the insert function window, and over here I'm going to type average. So as you can see, this function basically takes all the values and then it returns an average, which is nothing but the arithmetic mean of all the values that are supplied to it as a parameter. I already have a table for this. So now, in order to find the average of the marks scored by these two students, what I'm going to do over here is create another column and I'll name this as average. And over here, I'll type the equal to sign and make use of the average function. So now I want to find the average of all the test marks that are scored in the various tests. So I'll just select all these cells and then I'll hit enter. Okay, so as you can see, I found the average for Dave. Now in order to find the average for Ava, all I'm going to do is copy this function. Okay, so I hope you guys are clear with this. I found the average for both the students. So now moving on towards the next function, which is the count function. The count function of Excel will count the number of cells containing numbers in a given range. So in case I want to calculate the number of cells holding numbers in the table I've just created, all I have to do is select a new cell, then specify the count function. And within this, I'll specify this table as a range. So as you can see, it has returned the value to be 12, which means 12 cells in my table contain number values. So I hope you guys are clear with this. So now moving on towards the next function, which is the round function. The round function basically rounds off values to some specific decimal places. So as you can see over here, I have some decimal values that are present. Now in case I want to remove the decimal point from this, I'll just select a new cell and then I'll make use of a round function. And as you can see, it takes two parameters, which is the number and the number of digits that you want to round it off to. Now since I just have one number after the decimal point, I'll just specify the number of digits to be 0. So for the number, I'll use the cell address of G2 and the number of digits will be 0. So as you can see, 83.4 has been rounded off to 83. So now moving on towards the next formula, which is finding the grade. In order to find grades, you will have to make use of the nested if statements in Excel. So over here, we found the average. Now in case I want to grade these students, I'll have to make use of the nested if statements. So I'll just create a new column. I'll say grade. And within this, I'll use the if function first. So the if function, like I've already told you, will take one condition and it's going to return some value if it is true and another value if it is false. So now I just want to check if G2 is greater than 75. So I'll say G2 greater than 75. And in case this is true, I'll return the grade to be A. So in case this is false, I'll create another if condition within this. And I'll check if G2 is greater than 40. So if this value is true, I'll just return B as the grade. And if this is false, I want the return value to be F. Okay, so now I'll close this and I'll hit enter. So as you can see, the value of G2 is greater than 75, which means the grade is A. In case the value of G2 would have been less than 75, it would have gone to the next loop and then it would check for the condition if G2 is greater than 40 or not. If G2 is greater than 40, it will return B as the value, else it's going to return F. Okay, so I hope you guys are clear with this. Let me just copy this for the other student as well. So now moving on towards the next function, which is the rank function. So till now you've been seeing how to calculate the average of a student and then find the grade. Now I'll also show you guys how to give ranks to the students present in a class. To do that, you can make use of the rank function, which is already present in Excel. The rank function basically takes three parameters, which is the reference, number, and order. So I'll just specify rank over here. And as you can see, it takes number, reference, and order as parameters. The order parameter is optional, and in case you do not specify anything, it is going to return the rank in the descending order, which means the highest value will get first rank, the second value is going to get second rank, etc. In case you want to specify in ascending order, you can specify any non-zero values. The number over here is going to be G2, and the range will be G2 and G3. Since I want it to be in descending order, I'll not specify any value to the order parameter, and I'll hit enter. So as you can see, I found the rank, but it looks misplaced because I've not created the column name. So I'll just cut this and I'll paste it over here. I'll just name this column as rank. Now, in order to find the rank of Eva, I'll do the same. And then the value is present in G3 and the range is G2 and G3. And I'll hit enter. So as you can see, Dave is first rank and Eva is second rank. So I hope you guys are clear with this. Okay, so now moving on towards the next example, which is the COUNTIF function. The COUNTIF function counts the cells based on some given condition. It will return the number of cells that satisfy some condition in a given range. To show you guys the syntax of this function, I'll just write down the function, that is COUNTIF. So as you can see, it takes two parameters, which is range and criteria. Range is basically all the cells that you want to look into, and the criteria is the condition that they have to satisfy. So I'll just select all the cells over here. And the criteria is going to be if the values are greater than 70. So as you can see, it has returned 10 as the output, which means 10 cells contain values that are greater than 70. So now moving on towards the last function that I'm going to be discussing in this session, which is the index function. The index function returns a value or cell reference at some particular position in a specified range. The index function can be used in two forms. The first is the array form. In this form, if both the row and the column number are supplied, it returns the value that is present at the intersection of both the cells. If the column value is set to 0, it will return the values present in the entire row in the specified range. In case of the reference form, the index function returns the reference of the cell where the row and the column values intersect. Area number will indicate the range which is to be used in case multiple ranges have been supplied. So just to show you guys some example of this, I'll specify the array to be between A3 and I3. And for the row and column values, I'll just say 2, 3. You can give any values of your choice. These are just some random values. So as you can see, the value that is present in the second row and the third column in this table is 85. So I hope you guys are clear with this. Okay, so with this, we've reached the end of this session. I hope you guys have enjoyed and learned something new. In case you have any doubts or queries, please do let me know in the comment section and I will revert to you at the earliest. Goodbye and take care.